Hello, my name is Dawn Warren. May I ask you to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Hương. At present, I'm studying at Banking University in Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I have some questions that I'm going to ask you about yourself. So first, I want to ask you about where you live. Can you tell me about your hometown?
Okay, then the first thing I should mention is that I was born in a small village. To be more specific, it's located in the north of my country and be surrounded by many fields and rivers. It's called Nam Định. I think what makes my hometown special is the fact that a native with rich heritage and many beautiful places. I usually go to there with my friends during holidays, and as well as that, I also add that I really love people in there. This could be because people are very friendly and willing to help each other when the problem comes up. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And can you tell me the good things about your home, like your house?
I think the good thing in your home is it's much nicer to relax because it's very quiet and comfort for me.
Yes. And is there anything that you don't like about your hometown?
Well, to be honest, I think the air pollution is a problem in my hometown, and because it is caused the disease, many health problems. On the other hand, I think it's a bit boring to me. But you know, as a small town, there is not many shopping mall or any means of entertainment.
And is there another city that you would want to move to?
If I can afford it, I want to. I and my family can live in Ho Chi Minh City to live. Yeah.
Yes. And would you recommend your hometown as a good place to live?
Yes. I think it is nicer to relax after a busy week or when you have been stressed on the life.
And next I want to talk about your hobbies. Do you have any hobbies?
Of course, I'm a big fan of reading books. And I can read books every day, and because you know, books are the treasure wealth in the world today, and it's well known as a means of knowledge. So I've learned a lot of reading books. I can learn about a culture from different countries, and without doing some travel.
Yeah.
I also think it's the best way to relax. It's an amazing when I can relax with a book. Yeah, I think so.
Do you have any hobbies that you can do with other people, like your friends or your family?
I think I really love travel, so I want to travel with my friends during holidays.
And what hobbies are popular in your country?
I think it's many hobbies because with each other people they have different hobbies. If they like, for example, reading books or collect stamps or dancing and so on.
Yes. Are there different hobbies that people enjoy when they're older or when they're younger?
Yeah. Yes, I think the young people extend the hobby because, for example, reading books or collect stamps. Whereas the older people usually like reading newspapers or dancing, ballroom dancing. Yeah.
Yes. Do you think it's important to have hobbies?
Of course, I think it's very important within each pupil because hobbies will help me feel happier and is the best way to relieve stress after a busy week.
Yes.
It's very important.
Alright, and then another question that I want to ask you is about dancing. Do you like dancing?
Of course, I really love dancing, but I'm not good with dancing because when I'm listening to music, I let my body feel music. Yeah.
Yes. And what kinds of dancing are popular in your country?
I think the ballroom dancing is pretty a problem in my country with the older people.
Yes. Is traditional dancing popular among young people in your country?
Yeah, I think the young people will extend to the famous sing. For example, the Gangnam Style so on the famous thing. The young people like dancing with this.
So they like dancing modern dances, but are there any times that young people dance traditional dance?
I think it's really depends. The young people who are interested in dancing when they will spend lots of time to dance. But with other young people, they don't like it. They don't spend lots of time.
Where can you see people dancing traditional dances in your country? Are there special events where people dance traditional dances?
I usually see the people dance at the park in one district.
Yeah.
Or when the event to welcome famous people.
Yes. All right. And what kind of dances do you like to watch?
I really watch the hip hop dance. Yeah. I really admire the people who can dance it. It's very difficult. I can dance.
Yes. And do you like watching dancing in music videos, or do you want to watch a dance performance?
I really like watch dance in performance. I think it's reality and very lively.
Alright. For the next part, I want you to talk about learning English. I'll give you about a minute so that you can think and write your ideas, and then you'll speak for about 1 or 2 minutes. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Alright, here you go. Thank you. Alright, you ready?
Ready?
Please tell me.
Okay, then as for learning English, first thing I should mention is that I began studying English when I'm 14 years old at my lower high school. Actually, I really interested in my English class. This is due to the fact that to me it's amazing when I can learn new language as well as enhance my knowledge about culture from different countries in the world. The fact is that learning new things is fulfilling. So at that time, I wish I couldn't speak fluent English. Although you also understand that to learn new language is one thing that I definitely had many problems. I'm not good at listening and speaking English, so I can't understand it. I didn't give up though. When I'm going to university in Ho Chi Minh City, I spend lots of time to study English and then take English courses. And now I've recognized this problem is that correctly pronounce is very important to improve my listening and speaking skills. And then I'm taking steps to correct it and practice English every day. For example, after a lesson at school, I spend time to watching the video on YouTube or reading English newspapers or listening English news and so on to improve my skills. And I shouldn't forget to mention is that a teacher who inspired me as well as teach me the best way to study English effectively. He not only is committed teacher but also has sense of humor. So I really like him and have always greatest regard for him. He makes me more confident when speaking English. And I think I'm very lucky because I love English and I'm sure in the near future English will help me very much to reach my goals. This could be because English is well known in a national language as well as considered as a necessary requirement for educational and employment opportunities. So it's very important to many children to speak and understand English, and I will try to my best to improve my language skills. Yeah, thank you.
Alright. Well, we've been talking about learning English, and now I'd like to ask you some related questions. What problems do you have when studying English?
Yeah, I have many problems when studying English. Especially, I think pronunciation is important to learn English. I can read the words correctly, so I can understand or listening or speaking English. Yeah.
And would you change the way that the schools teach English in Vietnam?
I think in Vietnam, the best way to improve language skills, the class need to lively and give the student chance to communicate with teacher. The student can more confident when speaking English.
Yeah,
I think it's very important because in Vietnam, in my class, student is very shy and impression when they speak English incorrectly. Yeah.
Yes. And why do you think that English is an important language to learn?
Yeah, you know, English is an international language and is widespread language in the world today. It is the best requirement for educational and employment opportunities and for the career future.
Yes. And do you think that age is an important factor when you're learning English?
Well, in actual fact, if I think about it, I get started in many ways. This is due to the fact that second language acquisition is a complex process which depends on a number of factors, and one of the important factors is the age. Multiple researches have been performed in order to trace the relation between the age and second language acquisition, and all of these studies agree that the age has an extremely important influence on learning language. Specifically, the young people from 6 to under 30 years old can connect English easier. Maybe the young people can have an advantage in achieving with native, like the abilities to communicate with a new language than the older people. But in my opinion, I think it is not true perfectly, because the older people, if they have decisive and they actually want to learn English, they absolutely can do it. Their intellectual abilities and skills do not decline with the age. They can have the different way to study English than the young people, which compatible with them. So my answer would have to be yes and no.
Yeah. And what difficulties would a foreigner have when they learn your language?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think what difficulties with a foreigner when speaking Vietnamese is very many things. To be more specific, the most common forms of troubles are mispronunciation of the words and spelling of words. The people who are inspiredly unskilled and unfamiliar with the alphabets, is a bit different for them when to begin with language. This could be because you know, Vietnam is a rich language country, which is affected by loss of language through history and from Chinese, especially it's Chinese. There are lots of words that have similar meaning, and it also depends on the region. But don't worry about that, because this is the problem with the Vietnamese people from different areas in my country. In addition to this, I think the culture is also a difficulty with for the foreigner to learn Vietnamese. I think it's really up to the individual abilities. And in my opinion, to learn more any language, we need more time to study basic things and then improve my language skills.
Yes. Do you have any advice for a foreigner who's trying to learn Vietnamese?
No, I don't. But because I want to spend lots of time to learn English,
yes.
I want to focus on this.
And what languages do you think are easier to learn? For example, do you think that Chinese is easier to learn because it's similar to your language? Or do you think that English is easier to learn because it's more simple?
I think English is easier to learn.
Yeah.
Because it's very simple and it's very common in the world today.
Yes.
It's very important to learn English at present.
All right. Well, thank you. It was nice to meet you.